Morning, everybody. My name is Jay Ettinger with RFGen Software. And we're here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to spend some time with us. I don't think this is going to take too long, but we do have a presentation for you. I'd like to talk with you a little bit about RFGen Software and how you can go from paper to scanners to tablets with our mobile apps for SAP. What we're going to do today, the agenda is really to talk about the 8 challenges that most companies have and that would require mobile data collection to solve. We'll talk about the advantages of automation, of automating various activities, not only inside the 4 walls of your warehouse, but out in the field. We'll give you an overview on who is RFGen as a company and our framework of our software. Then we'll talk about some of the specifics you can do inside the wireless warehouse for SAP, how we can do 24/7 operations not only when SAP is down, but when we're disconnected on the mobile device out in the field. And then throughout there, we'll talk about some of our real-world results, which are some of our SAP customers. And then at the end, we'll have a couple minutes for questions and answers. So I guess without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here. Some of the 8 challenges that mobile data collection solves. Oftentimes companies are growing. They have issues catching up with more work. Maybe you have to work with smaller margins and you have a need to be as efficient as possible. Oftentimes you could be dealing with government regulations. Like we have one customer that's FDA regulated and they have to capture country of origin on everything coming in and out of their operations. Maybe you have traceability requirements, field to fork. That's the saying in the consumable goods market. Or industry, excuse me. Maybe you have recall issues where you need to track that particular lot down to the store shelf instead of recalling the whole particular item for a run. Maybe you have customer service issues. You want to improve inventory turnover, get product out to the customer quicker, increase their satisfaction, and then again, make sure it's the correct goods that you get out to that customer. Oftentimes, the biggest one we see is accuracy. If you want to improve your operations, improve the accuracy of that data flowing in and out of your ERP system from the shop floor manufacturing out in the field, everyone knows you make better decisions when you have better business data to rely on. And then value from IT. You have SAP, so you can find better ways to leverage that SAP investment and get the most out of it by streamlining your operations as best as you possibly can. So oftentimes when customers come to us here at RFGen, these are the challenges that they have, and RFGen can really help solve those challenges. The advantages of automation, really when you implement a data collection solution, and by data collection I mean it could be a variety of different operations. It can be inside the 4 walls, say for inventory management, manufacturing, distribution, pick, pack, ship, or back office time and attendance things, but it can also be out in the field. We have really endless mobile worker possibilities with RFGen. But the basic thing you get with data collection or barcoding is you eliminate those manual processes. Those error-prone processes, they go away. We're going to streamline your operations as much as possible, take a lot of the thinking out of it for the end users, and really just have them scan and move, scan and move. What that does is it increases the accuracy of everything flowing into SAP because it's going to be validated against SAP as it's being collected. And then it increases that employee productivity. Oftentimes with data collection or simple barcoding inside the warehouse, you get up to a 30% increase in your employee productivity. And really that real-time data validation and processing against SAP is very crucial in certain activities throughout the warehouse. Picking is a big one. You want to make sure you pick the right product. You want to make sure you pick it as quick as possible and really get that product out. The unique thing about RFGen is we have the ability to provide any type of mobile data collection solution against SAP. That can be a complete real-time solution, so real-time sub-second responses back and forth between SAP and the end user. It can be a connect-on-demand solution out in the field over cellular networks, GPRS, 3G, 4G networks. Or it can be a batch solution, a hybrid solution, or a batch completely offline solution that can be either cradled or connected or downloaded, uploaded when you walk back into like a Wi-Fi hotspot. So really the advantage of automation is get rid of those manual processes, improve your accuracy, increase your employee productivity, and you can do this a variety of different ways, whether it's inside the 4 walls of your warehouse or outside, or it can be done on a variety of different connectivity scenarios. I'm going to go into we'll talk a little bit more about those connectivity scenarios in a moment, but I want to start with an overview of who we are as RFGen Software. RFGen Software has been around for going on 30 years. We've always been in this industry as mobile data collection consultants, right? That's 100% our focus. We have solutions, certified solutions not only for SAP, but Oracle Business Suite, JD Edwards, Microsoft Dynamics, you name an ERP package out there, we have a certified solution for it. Specifically for SAP, we're certified on 4.6 all the way up to the current version 6.0. Built around a core group of senior level consultants. I mentioned all those ERP packages. Well, we have an ERP team for every one of those ERP packages. Our SAP team has quite a few individuals on it, and those guys go around, they know SAP, they know best practices for data collection, and they have real-world hands-on experience implementing these types of mobile solutions inside the four walls or out in the field for SAP customers. I think all the guys on our team have at least been working with SAP for 10 plus years, and they've been working, the lowest one's been working with these mobile data collection solutions for I think 7 plus years. So our core competencies are really, we know the ERP system and we know data collection. Specifically for our RFGen, this is a proven solution. It's implemented in over 2,600 locations worldwide, and we do things through a partner network of 125 plus partners in over 35 countries. So this is a proven solution. We have quite a few SAP customers using RFGen today, and we're very proud of that. Some of the reasons that these customers use RFGen is because of that framework, and I talked about it a little bit a couple of slides ago, but really RFGen can design, implement, and deploy any type of mobile or wireless solution, right? So that can be on Windows Mobile is typically what you're going to see in a commercial type device, Windows Mobile WinCE. But if you want to go out in the field or you want to move to a tablet type solution, we can run on Android as well as iOS. So really the benefits of this type of solution is you can take SAP data in a certified manner and put that on a barcode scanning application in the warehouse, implement a voice recognition solution, a voice picking, high-speed order selection solution in your operations. Or you can go out in the field and do a roaming offline or truly mobile cellular connection solution on a tablet or a basic cellular device. And the framework of RFGen allows you to do all of that. RFGen is used in 2,600 plus customers. We're used in just about every vertical, every industry. Everything from manufacturing to track and trace out in the field, field maintenance, asset management, direct store delivery, you name it, RFGen is used there. And some of the customers using RFGen today are listed here. The unique thing about RFGen, a lot of these are SAP customers. The unique thing about RFGen is we have some customers that use RFGen with 1 and 2 users against an ODBC database. But we also have some of the largest, multinational corporations across the globe using RFGen. Like Shell Oil on there has SAP. They use RFGen on every offshore oil platform and some land-based warehouses. So RFGen is really unique. It's very flexible, very scalable, and can really meet just about any number of requirements for data collection. Let me talk specifically about our SAP suite. And RFGen is unique in that we have those ERP teams, and we have the ability, we've taken that, and those guys have the ability to create ERP-specific packages. So for SAP, really what RFGen is a MEAP, and you've probably heard this before. It's a Mobile Enterprise Application Platform. Really what that is the definition of a MEAP is a software package that's going to allow you to put a mobile solution on a variety of different devices, but it's also going to provide you a development environment that's going to be able to, you can take ownership of, something you can create your solution specific to your operations with. So, and then beyond that, RFGen is tightly integrated with SAP. RFGen Software is an SAP partner. It's an SAP certified solution. It comes with out-of-the-box, pre-written, pre-tested transactions. For SAP, we have 60 plus transactions that are pre-built out of the box, and I'll show you a list of those here in just a moment. But really what those are is that we call the 80-20 rule. Those transactions could work out of the box for you right away if you have a very vanilla system. And take, for example, a PO receipt. It's a fairly simple transaction. You may do it one way or another. You may print a label as you receive the product and slap the label on it. These are the types of small things that you can change, or you can just move on to the next item as you receive it. But really there's small things, and you can change those very easily with RFGen because of the Mobile Development Studio. So we can facilitate rapid modification and configuration to your specific processes with our Development Studio. And then the last but not least part is the multiple data capture scenarios. If you want to collect data offline, if SAP goes down, if you're out in the field, if it's real time, if it's cellular, RFGen can connect in a variety of different ways. The framework of this solution, this is really the 30,000-foot view of this solution. As you can see, you have the people on the left there. They're doing the barcode scanning. They're doing the data collection out in the field. And they're doing it on a variety of different devices, whether that's on a scanner, whether that's on a tablet. That data is going to go back to an RFGen server, which is really the runtime environment. It's managing all those devices. It's managing all the business or communication data back and forth between SAP. It's validating that data real time, and then it's sending that data to SAP through the BAPI layer. And that's really what makes RFGen a certified solution. So as I mentioned, that framework for RFGen, as you can see some of those devices there on the left, those are typical cell devices. All those transactions were built using automated data collection best practices. As I mentioned, you can implement out of the box or customize. But really with RFGen, you get that look and feel. It's a very nice look and feel. You can add pictures, graphics, text boxes, signature capture, anything in there you do. And then say you have an Android device, well, you can pick an Android theme so it's consistent with the device. Or you have iOS, you can pick an iOS theme so it's consistent with the device. Or Windows, same thing there. So really with RFGen, you get this very customized look and feel specific to your device, specific to your organization. And then you can modify all of that using our Development Studio. So not only with RFGen, the Development Studio allows you to connect to multiple systems. Say you need to connect to a system outside of SAP, RFGen can connect to any variety of number of databases, other ERP systems, because we have those certified solutions to other ERP systems. We multi-carrier shipping solutions, automated equipment, scales, carousels, PLCs, you name it, if RFGen can connect to it. So when we talk about data collection on a mobile device, that's a typical commercial device on the right over there. That would be like a warehouse device. On the left, you see the SAP screen for the PO receipt or receipt of the order. So really what RFGen does is we streamline the workflow. Sometimes in SAP, you may have, for a particular transaction, you may have to go to 2, 3, or more screens. Well, with RFGen, what we can do is we can combine those screens really into one easy-to-use, intuitive workflow on the mobile scanning device. We can simplify things, make it easy for the end user. We want them to just scan and move, just get done with those processes out there. So really what we do is we take various items from SAP, put them into that one easy-to-use workflow on the device. We're validating against SAP as we're scanning, as we're collecting that data, and then again we're transacting against the BAPI layer of SAP on the back end. Some of the transactions we have available today are listed here. As I mentioned, we have 60 or so transactions. Everything inventory management, sales orders, purchase orders, warehouse management solutions, plant maintenance, production orders, and then a variety of other field operations transactions. And if you don't see a transaction here that you like, that's no problem at all either. RFGen integrates to the BAPI layer, so we can simply download the BAPI, and using our RFGen Mobile Development Studio, we can create a custom transaction very quickly and very easily. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the wireless warehouse. This is what a lot of RFGen customers, specifically in the SAP space, come to RFGen for, is to create some efficiencies in the warehouse. Maybe you have an inventory management problem. Maybe you're having problems with receiving. You can't actually, you wait and you receive items, and then you have to go back to the office, print out a bunch of labels, and you have to walk back, throw all the labels on, and then you have to go back to SAP, enter all that data. Well, RFGen can streamline that process and really make that one easy-to-use receipt. So we're going to receive the item, throw the label on it, and then put it away. So, or manufacturing operations, quality assurance, inspection, receipt with inspection, all these types of combinations of, excuse me, putting multiple transactions together and making it easy to use, streamlining your operations, that's really something RFGen thrives on. Do you guys remember a couple years ago, the company, the pet food company that imported some melamine from China, and unfortunately it killed a few pets? Well, that was Menu Foods. Menu Foods had a problem in their supply chain. They weren't able to do an effective recall, and that almost put them out of business. So they came to RFGen, and they said that we wanted to streamline our supply chain. We want to implement a license plating, and we want the ability to recall a specific lot exactly down to the store shelf. So RFGen was able to do that, and now Menu Foods is thriving, or Simmons Pet Food is thriving. And really, if you go to any Costco, Walmart, any of the pet food that's their generic brand is made by Menu Foods. So very thriving today. That's a great example of one of our warehouse operations customers. So some companies, specifically in SAP, like to come to RFGen to achieve 24/7 operations. And what I mean by this is when you're working in the shop floor and SAP goes down, well, the data collection system could be down. If it's a browser-based solution, it's certainly down. Well, with RFGen, we can keep everything up and running. We can have remote sites where you have connection problems back to SAP, or maybe your SAP is hosted somewhere where the data connection is not very reliable, and you want to manage things effectively on a local level. RFGen can help you do that. Really, if you're doing backups or unintended downtime, RFGen can keep those shop floor operations running because we take a local view of the level, and we have the RFGen solution there, or the RFGen server on a local level, and we work off that data, and then when SAP is back up, we just update it at that time in a first-in, first-out manner. But you'll always see a local view of your data so everyone knows what's going on at that particular site at any given time. As I mentioned earlier, some of the network connectivity scenarios we have is real-time is what most people prefer, where it's sub-second responses to and from SAP. But then we can do the handheld offline, where we're out in the field and we're collecting data, and we walk back into a Wi-Fi hotspot, upload it to RFGen, and then it makes its way to SAP. Or we can do the high availability mode, which we just talked about, which is when the SAP ERP backend is no longer available, we can keep the shop floor in operations, whether it's manufacturing. That's particularly where this comes in, where it's very helpful is one of our customers, they do a lot of manufacturing in China, and when they did their downtime over here in the U.S., it put them down for about 4 hours. And with our high availability mode, they're able to keep those manufacturing operations up and running even while SAP was down here in the U.S. Talked a little bit about Shell earlier. Shell uses RFGen against SAP on their offshore oil platforms. They have relatively no connectivity, zero connectivity back to SAP sometimes. So with RFGen, they were able to create a solution that works primarily offline and then uploads via satellite at certain intervals. And really, with RFGen, it provides guaranteed transaction delivery and execution against SAP. So Shell's committed to RFGen. They're still in the process of rolling this out to all the offshore oil platforms. Let's talk a little bit about the mobile solution, what you can do with RFGen, specifically mobile solutions. We support cellular connectivity with automatic VPN establishment, providing access or ERP access from any Windows, Android-based device, as well as iOS. We can do vendor-managed inventory, product returns, dropship, proof of delivery. All these types of mobile solutions are available for you with this type of framework. And expanding upon that, you can do field service, route accounting, there's true batch solutions, Salesforce automation. We have transactions pre-built for those, and you can modify them to meet your exact needs on your particular device, whether that's a scanner or whether that's a tablet. One of our customers, the Antia Group, that picture is actually from their case study. They go out and collect water samples, and they use a Windows-based tablet for that. And they collect everything on site on the tablet, and then that data is then sent back to their ERP system. But really, all of this framework is there for you, depending on whether it's a scanning application you want in the warehouse or out in the field on any type of device. One another case study we have, Newell Rubbermaid uses RFGen, not only for manufacturing because they make, Rubbermaid, Sharpie, some cookware. Really what they have to get that product out, and they use RFGen all throughout Asia with 700 plus delivery drivers doing direct store delivery for their products. And really what it is, it's a mobile solution over a China cellular network, and they've been using RFGen for about 6-7 years now. So it's one of our largest customers. And lastly, what our customers are saying really is that framework for RFGen, the ability to put it on any device, the ability to provide certified ERP connectivity back to SAP, the ability to go offline with the handheld, offline with the ERP system, the ability to connect to carousels, automated equipment, PLCs, scales. There's a lot of benefits to using this type of solution. And Maddox there at the top, I'm not going to read that for you, but really Maddox, they make displays, store promotions, custom panels, and they've been using RFGen for SAP for going on, I think, 2 or 3 years now. I believe 2 years. They use it for inventory management as well as manufacturing. Southern California Edison is an SAP customer of ours. It's a power company, Southern California. They use RFGen out in the field for a variety of operations, typically offline solutions for goods issuing as well as inventory management at remote warehouses. And then Provimi. Provimi is another pet food manufacturer that's been using RFGen against SAP in a global sense. They use RFGen at various sites in Europe, various sites in the U.S., and then as well as in South America, all for their manufacturing and inventory management as well as distribution pieces. So as you can see, we talked a little bit about the 8 challenges of data collection solves. We talked a little bit about who we are as a company in RFGen, and we talked a little bit about the framework of our solution against SAP, and I would hope that you take away from this is we have ERP certified connectivity, and if you have any need for data collection, whether it's a simple barcode scanning application in the warehouse, or with manufacturing, or it's a field solution that you want to put on a tablet, or you want to put on a scanner or small PDA type device, RFGen has pre-built applications for that, and RFGen can create and implement that solution very quickly and very specific to your exact requirements. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to, are there any questions at all? I believe we'll go ahead and unmute.
Can you hear me okay? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, this is Anita and Ed from Grainger.
Okay.
And we have some questions. One of the things we're looking for is a method to be able to capture signatures when our customers come to our warehouses or branches for will call. And so we use SAP today. So what would you recommend in that space for being able to capture signatures so that we can then provide proof of delivery to our customers to make sure that our accounting process is, fully completed?
Yeah, no problem. We actually have a pre-built application for signature capture. We can really add that to any solution or any particular SAP transaction. So we certainly have a solution for you, and we love to follow up with you, and we can actually show that to you, a demo of that at a later time.
Yeah, that would be great to expand on that. What device are you attached to? Are you iPad, Android?
Yeah, regardless, whatever you prefer. If it's going to be in a commercial environment, you might want something a little more sturdy than an iPad, but you could use that.
I'm looking for cost-effective devices. So do you do like typical signature pads like you see at Target or Home Depot?
Right, so we can do, just really RFGen's hardware independent, and we have a hardware team that can provide a variety of different devices from numerous manufacturers. So we'll get you set up with something.
Okay, so you already have a pre-built screen, it sounds like, and connected to SAP.
Right, so what it is it's an alternative user interface. So with RFGen, we're going to create an alternative graphical interface that's going to go on a device, which some of them are pre-built. And then I would add a signature capture to that, link that back to your SAP BAPI layer, and then you have a system that is goes on a mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a scanner or whatever, and it's all going to send data back and forth between SAP in a certified manner.
So when the signature is captured, where does it reside on the record to be able to pull up later? Is it an attachment or is it an image? How does that look?
Yeah, we've had it's done in a variety of different places. We typically we have to store that somewhere. So whether it's an SAP or an alternative data source, we've done it in a variety of different ways. But there's a certain area we would have to store that. But it will be accessible to you in the future, certainly.
Okay. Do you have any more information? No. If it's possible to get a little bit more information on that, to expand a little bit for us, that would be really helpful.
Okay, we'll do. We'll send you some information.
Have you ever worked with Ranger before?
With who?
Ranger company?
I don't think we have.
Okay. Yeah. That's all the questions we have at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions at all? Again, my name is Jay Ettinger, and if you see sales@rfgen.com, and you can see our website, rfgen.com, we have a lot of SAP-specific data on there. On the website, if you go to the SAP tab, we have, actually our Visio diagrams. Every transaction is actually completely documented, so you'll see what a typical, very baseline RFGen transaction looks like. The Visio diagrams for collecting that data and sending it to SAP. Really, there's a lot of information on the website, and if you have any specific questions, you can always feel free to give us a call or send us an email to sales@rfgen.com if you have any specific questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes? Hello? Anybody?
Oh, we thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or send us an email.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.